baraka bake tan men ka jif tang TV Jobe kamonte be wato wato talan killing wala ben jang gambe jang sain tenten talan killing pala asita fele mo tan ko de kanana program wodi yalla memory current reality show di al yalla ne ko aramisa ga program wodi yalla di current reality show men ka host wala tati Ibrahim Joro ko politician wala komandi ani mo ko tan tuga kacha ko wala mi yalon ko wala be kere wanyama ala baraka bake kabringa start jif tang TV mo jamal bi mi yalon ko ngawal interview wala ntuma ni ka so rabe kono wolo kun tambila nga mention wala deputy spokesperson di APRC mi yalon ko wala Mr. Dudu Jati nare ka do jansono wolo kun tambila janni wo sana dabo mi yalon ko atlen president di national association mi yalon ko wala president national association of Gambian nurses and midwives association afana mo multi mi yalon ko nay program mo shodo nune fana Momodou Sabali am multi mi yalon ko nga host no program kilo mo nyinto la Mr. Sekou Mbalo mi yalon ko atlen deputy youth advisor to president nga refana host den anen deputy ko dama la be ko honorable Sekou Maron Sekou Ba Jajo mi yalon ko ngol so program mo afala bi kanu ala yende ma ko de kanana program mo di yalla di current reality show mi alam ko akanali aramis on Give Thanks TV men ka di yalla wala ki prime jarati bi programme ni mi alam ko fa ngol sort programme to bi wala Dr. Momodou Lamin Sidad Jobe mi alam ko atek na nakala no foreign minister di Yahya Jammeh la time mo but fana aketa Gambia ambassador to France under president Adama Barrow man sakunda kono amonu Gambia ambassador to France ngatala sort programme to bi wanya matal member jibiro la kal wakati de bake ka falal kalina programme ni alkali jibe alkali saya fanam bake but fanam ale subscribe to our YouTube channel on Give Thanks TV wajale ko fengo femi yalon ko bake kan at any given time ni ngata drum ni subscribe to our channel e wajala ade nyin lañu o nyama ka fale ala baraka bake bi fanam mosona mobe tembe do anin dingra to ka fale assalamu alaikum fele mosona tana programme di yalla on Give Thanks TV comme nga fale nyama drum nga men sort of program to be on the current reality show wala Dr. Sidad Jobe mbabu la drum an jibe rale nyoko Dr. abaraka bake ngi sort na program to nyame on Give Thanks TV ba ni opportunity men dina program kata
nimbara jara ke follow ila broadcasting to radio to wala yatina during alaftan appointment to mon hesitation soto je kanton to fama lafte contact la no pour que congratulate standard of broadcasting e kamenke and irregular nyaming ila giving of news lungolo
baraka ba thank you for that compliment akamunda ako mo le Dr. Sidad Jobe la sabe brief background for you
ngamira ko ya fole already te mu Gambian already na diplomatic service start at the time of Sadauda Jawara ketan councilor in Dakar then chargé d'affaires au Kolantata London Birumbuta London Walto started teaching there at the University of Dakar and then teaching kiji Sanji Street Kolantata teaching Howard University Washington DC Sanji Pula Walto Mboyang appoint to be in charge of the UNESCO collection of representative works Sanji Tam and in Konontoleke UNESCO Tanding Kononton Jango Walto President Yahya Jammeh invite pour nga commission chair pour que University of the Gambia create be minister in charge of higher education la Badara Diouf wala mun secretary for the commission and in Satan Jawo minister at that time during Obotaje, also President Yahya Jammeh appoint as foreign minister and Burka Kana Kata Jamfandi, o period of Gambia Security Council na preside, na Libya la problem réglé so that instead of yela more be accused ke Samba Angleterre wala America na decide pour Qatar participer o kola fanam rin ko biana murutan an kabunan Iraq Gambia Security Council preside pour la report bi and pour Security Council mo la resolution on Iraq. Then Bingo Botaje told the negotiation with President Jammeh pour Casamance in Senegal la Katia, au Colan Tole Kelo Lundi, Guinée-Bissau, Anton Tole negotiation Mane in Viera Tema pour Kelo Lo.
Okay, akamu ta Jammeh yedo ho kaile amu modi mi alon ko alon ta bake ka mol fire wala nduma ke bay second ministry of justice mi alon ko ya wala wo toni kono to manda mi na minister tang anen se singa mi alon ko ay wal bay but it the case you resign ye fonyo Yahya Jammeh la mas ko na kono what led to your resignation not the
no Yahya Jammeh ay quality killing photo akela moy manum bake and Jamal men achieve in the foreign service akana yamarota back. So another period also, young President Jamal be around him. About pousse kam kafai ko Europe ke campaign letter si parlement Angleterre European Union amanke ko ye respect as a president amila minister aman lafi ka ani ini kuntu bari tele head of state so cannot some minister every time ni a decision on ta akela mind change wotu mo ala betanu tilawa Johnson Baila wala mo nga isi la na electoral council wala tengote what Britain is 600,000 pounds a day for IEC renovate computers organized here come one to put a train. So many equal not to be point from a resign. Then what a school of thought mentor ni appoint. Responsibility dia ibe do ko la moy iba advice la namela advice tano really ni mu moti me hakilo so inyanta resign la de ya bula e mota membe ala yamaro tala so occasion joma anda to famo Yahya Jammeh kan tum to fem fola membe negative ring Yahya kan ku kilin dorom na tara tele ni instructional bedi kamul fa rengo kusifalu anin human rights violation all wolu mammo fa ko fa de kanto wo abukan te bulando kala ka tonya fo bari ni human rights violation all do to ni intervene ta akela moy ma kamul free from the prison from NIA and so on. So bila la fita ni European Union representative baila ya mari wala aya tuje bari mo taje ron dol na ta pana ya pousse ayo bay wotu mon tebe ntama. Then a point came iba foka e damin ko Angleterre a felenti aka kodo di oppositional leader ando aka tamandi UNDP leader wonte tonyate bankol buka type of aid Angleterre has many ways for us to do the Lamin
central government.
Yeah, so nkai ko wonte tonyate ya bari I continenta afola ko ha ni deputy ambassador kata opposition meetings so wala right ready ntol berimbe Angleterre ntene na boss bio Jammeh mo ambassador tenu katanu labor meetings katanu conservative party meetings liberal party meetings because it come all invite like you know ambassador abi janna ka bankole korosi pour ay report di même famo bi kere and mole be kan bi so bila konyo ko ha fate yin kewo bay nga fa si nya fulan wani en kanela yodo wana la officer do akonyen takela ntama tan tata waga dugu meeting wala on this Sahel thing in Libya nolu don aya bayin ko katang ka soto pour ay come back on his decision attack. Big Murtana, a Ponyako, ha, but it alone ko tema by Intelia by for Angale Uko. It Tafan Angalte, yeah, for a Contelia by Itema by. She that will be very irresponsible. Tell them foreign minister. Nayatara, na advisement delay, Imatano. I prefer na resign, ka opportunity dealer, so that is more appointment. Then he left it on Nankela. Yeah, and he was gentleman enough to accept that. Among acrimony or acrimony TJ, Buldol Bapuse can do a lot of arrest, Yatina, Bajampala, Canton election all Bena, Canton resign to June Carola, and then election all around October, November. He come left at Jampala level and resign. But it didn't what again. We see the Jam Sanji say young Kijam. Nkata mission okay, African Union here, and in Kata international meetings, so and I'm block here and put Katonia from a point in that Benin Kalawa. The passport on it and Dilela, very what are the government? Then Minister I passport or dinner for 5 years, diplomatic passport. Pour Kani invite international meeting or Gofaran, Mojaman Buntaje. Pour Kafai ko xani mo ñana jila la ba wol bi mu ko ma samante dia felenti atata abedame na ya lonno ate ni hostility keno la ni molu men ya lo ko imuila internet ila development partnership ya lo na interview killing ning Lamin Jai biring be ni constitutional la kunya foka. For European Union, Britain, France, Germany, data for Kaji, Manon Jumale Baro advice, Kafai ko Akani receive. Seriously.
It is a diplomatic blunder.
Ngawale foreign. I don't have for an interview. And don't have for an man choice photo. Former constitutional country. Mojomal ba for Afelenti, the Donna, Bisulata, I reject. But imagine. Fata Fabe, Jonathan, good luck, Kililanam, Purkakur regle. But all afterward, Calafana Napai, Kai constitutional. More leta regle no Rakabunam Bantana Bankokan. A problem of baby in Banko don't regle.
Let's resolve that before we come to that. Now the coalition 2016 covering in a year appointed the KK Gambian ambassador in France. Jenny War, coalition of did you play any role? Kabiri Waro Yalan for campaign with the what I was
Man, role play J because in Tabeno exile. But I used to denounce certification on the Bangkok denounce Simon Keta. Puruna appointment Ahmad Ba OJ and Dabo Ibe Lafitani with experience for men sort of as 5 years foreign minister Purkonga thank you Ahmad Ba Uba Fokan Munkonyan Tatala United Nations Land Dabo Jeko with my relationship with the Francophone countries Kongata France, which was a very logical thing, and the Busulata back to Kongata France. Kantung Sanji Konondo, Gambia ba katakan ke a member of the Francophonie, Amakeno. In 7 months, approval and support sort of from Macron and his foreign ministry, and then all the Francophone European members, and in some African members, me guarantee, Ndunta Francophonie. But it put Catalonia for it, we didn't do Francophonie. Aida Baroma understand modern Francophonie. Ning amante kombetela the same thing as the Francophone countries. But the association or development association or Karandiro, universities in Makoi, Nayatra Kudo, the Bangkok in agriculture, technology and so on. You see application of Keno Boko with the Commonwealth is against us sort. But being told Dunta Francophonie, Damo family nata represent Biriben inaugurate la into Francophonie. Dabonen tangarele nata. Tombi ikaino ko hani mu Francois la politique. There are people who are very negative. So ate fama manna. But it's big opportunity for the Gambia. Could you believe? For Murtana, Sanji Fula, email juice pay. And that Jew is just 11,000 euros a year. So there was about 22,000 and something dollars. But in the meantime, France owe 50 million bundi Gambia and even more. Country rice project will be commenced and every week for France, the foreign minister Natalia. Bangkutuman, the foreign minister Natalia. Huh?
Then where every appointment on a company for me and we all get a party in a double. Jamal be a precise, call many other UDP called it. I will let them know get ambassador to Banda, Foriegn Caravan. In that appointment, someone through me along. Yeah, someone asked because you are close to Dabo, a relative, or what I think yes, I'm in front. What would you say?
I would say that it's totally unfair. And I think even in South Forno, the Fanco, who are yet to come on the back, can't move along for foreign minister in Bangkok. Bring me foreign minister, I can in Bangkok, and Banco Gambia disrespect. Mbanku Dimoratu. But in Tolle, Senegal convinced no for in MFPC Yakaja. Mokolan Tolle Security Council for Martin Nakomoli resolution on the Libyan problem on also the Iraqi problem. If Konga for Yaman, Ahmad Balaftanum, Ngata United Nations, Dabo Kongata, Dabo Yalon Nukumu, foreign minister. Nayang appoint Pungata. I don't think I appoint Bama body money or UDP member. More obliged to become a member of the UDP to be appointed and Malala Kaula Kenu.
I'm going to comment on the standard. That me along with President Baroya Kumani, Kafuko Abamoji along from Akamunda Mania contesting president election in Yalong Volcan. NPP guys are not happy with this comment. And not want name why did you make this comment?
Very good. Yalong, the young comment. When I had a UDP and Samba, Ambassador Yahya. Because Dabo foreign minister, Momodou appoint last an ambassador. At the Kala for selection state, work on at the Kataka file on defend Baroya. So Baron, every more come, I may recommend Purila ambassadorship here. Automatically, Ubeko into UDP ambassadors letter. Well, I am not very Yahya Bundi in attempt record. Mube accept as a as a political decision. Bari Mosi ku killing long. Ko ite 19 years of the United Nations system. Andu nga kol je kake dunya kono nyame. Wole atina. Piringa bankola ko analyze. Andu nga la to be analyze. Andu tena pitan janning election. Hani acrimony killing. Kanika mo doya wala ka kufo moye buruka ka doya ndakela. Bari Baro killing tante ni bango. Ni tolma understand tol the situation of mentor. Ubalafa kubale. One. The minister ambassador deputy ninki siso konkon kaf ntem sovereign state let it in motor temporary no in constitution of malafa. But the man ke sovereign state alinga tonya for you.
That is section 1 of the constitution.
Yeah, but we have no constitution.
Of course we do.
No. We have the 97 constitution. Declare it there. But if we speak of the present situation, where a country without a national army is not functional. Secondly, we do not have a constitution. Now, when this president was appointed, he accepted that he was going to stay for 3 years. And after those 3 years, and in that period, he would have prepared all the institutional reforms, the army, the civil service, and then the TRRC, and so on.
But are you suggesting
Unfortunately, this did not happen. And he did say also that he was not even going, this was the intention of those who elected him, that he was not going to be a party of any future election, so that there would be a fair, level ground for the elections of the various parties in the Gambia colony. Nah. In what will be Colombia miracle? Uncle Philip president. Amala 3 years ke. Problem banati, unfortunately, Multata prison no kola because ya mira la nunko iba tele undermine kan. Unata tambi anata la 5 years so. President a balanta puru ko men ala 5 years iba kontela in 10 years men nyanta kala limitation of the constitutional candidate. But amanna somewhere called the letter for sign. So, miracle. What an mistake. But because I am an old man, I think I still lecture, I still give conferences in universities. Nayatra, Mahono, Multing invite everywhere. And my stay in France was a success, but to tell you the truth, Frank, amanke malis with you. Akamuntali or any other Gambian, Mempareta Tonya.
But
is it
making these comments?
No,
making these comments, can you comment at a time? Kabin President Borough from your political party, you were just making an advice, but in reality, when President Borough will not heed to this advice.
And it's unfortunate, Labake, and the Menari Sentile. Ning advice on Naya Muta about Hitan Dilala, the core. I foresight so. Because Muneatina, Baro Abedamin B, and the credibility is in question. I'm not family over. I'm not family Moy, during President Ako, Hania Jammeh is in Bosata, economic Sotonga, police Sotonga, army Sotonga, and so on. And then Amania a family Jammeh, even compare. Because Jammeh bondo reate Cindy. Secondly, Naya Tara Ate Abesiring Amira ko doku Jamale Babula Nyenta Stela and Nenamang Menu ya elect Puran Niltul ya Claire Kon Lafitale ko nga continue President ya Walton Teko Dunia situation don't begin into Bayman Hakim and we monkey malice. Naya Tara President. I have Jibe around him, more member around him. Na Jibe ikamen advice or dia. Alale sindige kanani opportunity lose see. So ite men be elect yobul jamfa o ko ila lafta continent. Mone de kala la consequence di na man na election o win. So wale ati nankai ko hobly they don't advise women pour que la integrity and dignity maintain. Bibeda men bi itele position o soto men bete yata political party Jammeh motol be bu fan be bu yela party headquarters bu dada e party wadala kana loñing election to mol bula e loje ni lota ite in the next 5 years isi from prepare no, and only lafita lola in 5 years time. Remember opportunity deal la pour qu'elle more test ila faithfulness and the way that it be manko ila pour qu'elle party o bill do ñol bi jang jang sangi joli party do bi jang sangi joli na to really president ya biate yande lafta kala di in 5 years time ni ko be lola mo mo le ta fala hani ibu wasatil kala yela la do timan iman ko je 3 years after bari if our Santa can level think a ground be more like
but President Barrow, I need to quite credibility problems of the Momodou Lamin. President Barrow, ko I menki Gambia, and you send in an open wallet and be Yahya Jammeh and Jawara menka jam. What do you got credibility problem? What are you talking about?
Jarangami Rabomo provocation already, and it's very unfortunate. The bag, President.
Are you suggesting he didn't do anything here?
No,
after 4 years.
Of course he has done something. He has done something. What is it? Building roads and building bridges? That isn't what they brought him here for. Naya Tara, President Barrow B, I mean constitutional adaptation. I civil service reforms keno. I am military security reforms keno. Economic botajang after 2 years. Wo credibility role tambitana is 20,000 miles of roads.
Sector reform.
Let us get nanga ku killing na clarify. Amanki ko Sidad Jobe lebe diamukan. Sidad Jobe la observational mo jamale mo andu ngalong ite fango ni mira ko la bake ifango balon nambe mem fokang security reform mantaraje. Andong you know nteman la fi president denigrate land lafta makoy la ya fam makoy. How? Ibetaralinjang, Sanje Lulu Kono, Ilafangola personal security. Security in the state house is maintained by foreign troops. Wokola Ifangola army, Imam will use. Economic BJB joking every time. So, what do you want? Let me even give Nganyang Fanko Dila. B, the president. You are re-elected. You are re-elected by the Gambian people to be guarded by foreigners. So if there is that difference in what do you call in confidence, confidence that is a very, very serious matter. And the more member around, Dukare Mbading ito fangoya lone, Kujama, President Barrow ba kang at the family ya follow ako mang experience toto parim fang surround la ni mol la men ya experience also decision Jamal anin ku tarderin Jamal amang ka fangoti against him.
But the president said president wala nim president o ma for men be president o bala eko initial team that is ila party leader another team o men babala wala fango be president Barrow draka in fact kamen ko man the police school ni member suriandila ye wala kan no mal le president o development okay in a sense that ital bella frinum palace wala in the team or double team and in the current team if you are to make comparison which team is efficient?
I will tell you definitely Dabo's team, and for a very simple reason, nga foyman biring Barrow ye Dabo ta ke foreign minister ay Sane Soto ke minister of finance madumba diba be agriculture. Nte fangola experience to Sane nata sinya saba France received at the highest level of the Ministry of Finance. Yam Ukola Dabo I ko bele ke bankol be I negotiation with all of them to coordinate things so that we have the Brussels meeting. And when we had the Brussels meeting, in Banku Jamal Lenata I participate wo discussion also even Saudi Arabia even some of the eastern countries. So it be a pledge sota fatata to the amount of 1.7 billion euros. Pretty okay. Baro, ani jisula bale nata jang jita jang. Ako ye hakodo men di mol. Banko be balo na le ko nganyum fon soto. I fendo le for, but that is what he meant. Bina nata dorong. More member around him again, and the man lafi more accused there unnecessarily. What be advantage you male deal antela? What atin antela salary advance? What atin ante think alhamdulillah. And nene mang mote lola banjul sang Gambia kona ko ye ko Sidad Jobe yen konne wala Sidad Jobe yen te bloqué. Not a single person. Kafok Sidad Jobe nene te bloqué wala Sidad yen te kong. I do it for people, I promote people even above me in the United Nations system. Because Ntelemunung, president of the Staff Association in UNESCO, the last 5 years, mbuka nyo saboke wala kamo pull down. If I cannot promote you, I'll never make you come down. And nobody can raise his hands to say that Sidad le by wala yinke. So I obey for. Bina futa nanang, you ba puse kanyame mpuraya la party law. And Baro is a human being. If they continue repeating, if they repeat la dukare kite famo yesi bantu ni sita iba jelale ko itele be kala president yalla alale bul tije. Stop it, Stop it completely. Stop. Alale kije. So abe woloto birabun tanandorong ku seleta to a point where alafita just put it off. Fa alafita kala patiolo. Yanna ko momoy. So naye okay. Birayo kedong. Put it up. Birayo kedong. Akumasatas expenses jamakela.
Okay.
Abe mutol sana abe kuel kela. And immediately Europe ye wolaje.
No, but the president is saying, come told me along ka wala are coming from anonymous donors, mol me along ka wala kama ko this money is not from his pocket or from the state coffers. Europe be manage la ka attribute ko president be murul sang kanyame akamonda wo bat ne be bulo mutala because ko dol nyang aba fo kana ko man traka babon.
Jara yalon lafita nga men lafita men ne la ila eka questionol nyinin ka nyame. Wolum ko ite fango danke ne yata ko e kamem fo nyeteng. Ite aje membe caring. Nita tema. Na yatara. Ko baroko. Abe position o mento. Foreign people leka di mol leka diatela ayake. But at the helm of the state leto. Ayanta transparency and credibility di la mola. Halina rayatu kodo diala. In the beginning, I akele pour National Assembly. Mo jama, yewo idea support, nte fang, birwo keta. Adiata nye dry moto di nye MPs kanton te jele kalo singol lebe moto be lift back kang everywhere. So womanung initiative betoleti. Bari al kana nyina fen. Na donors and also the IMF, the World Bank. And in Bankol membe contribution of kekan na budget. Ela mol bi jangi ba jeka membe caring. Na ya tarano wo 1.7 billion projects like kataje. Project paper 100 pages, 200 pages, I detail all sort of lafta nyenekela in agriculture or even in road building or the improvement of our rivers transport. A big project bati. Ya send to the EU. Iba jelale, ya evaluate, immediately, kodo biye, ya kodo release. Ni silolem, ni 1,000 miles of data, iba jolale. Bari, woman nake, pimbe dame. nanga honest nyokan andon ko e kon tella fitamen na de ninga mo advice nte denigrate la ninga president o denigrate bi ata jusulala ni yente denigrate wala yenneng ata dialanye bari na ya tara ate fango ye mira muni atina kabiring amuruta nam Brussels and nenema moiko a project for even 300 million has been submitted to the EU for the financing for a 1.7 billion amanke.
Well, the minister at some point highlighted, says, Judol, wala loan sol me yalonko, ye wale di Brussels, will see at an umbakele. Fang might be wala asabu, imambula nung anoma purukaranin kodol kamanje. What will you say to that?
Jara, this world, if you want to develop it, it all rotates around debt. Even America owes China more than thousands of billions of dollars. Even America is indebted to China, which is the superpower. The dollar is the one that is the standard currency. So Julo defend, and when Julo like a banko develop, what Julo ta because you approving state law. You know, iba ko jubela leno within the framework of economy dimola ya finance B ila fita fengofen develop la Nigeria ta nga Nigeria la example dila. In order to develop, you have to create local millionaires into the private sector. Ye Gambian no sotonum B men la fita 7 miles of rice field sotora badato ka pompe ka coal beke ka molbondi na Taiwan Thailand wada penken the type of rice kan la fi men na jang ya fo ye na fi jang so that niya ke ate kala shock to the transition wo investment be men kala na tra debt long time about fanjolale so bari ni ko minister ko ha wo detole be siarin je bari mbadi na tra wolom wotom be stop la le don te fentala ko te nan revenue ma won dinna
on the 24th of March May well in 3 years the cabinet Brussels conference in Akeda but earlier reports say me only 10% of the pledge well in the Gambia ya me the money in pledge you muna with hell wala muna muta
no but Jara I've already told you that we are not in conformity with the modalities for the disbursement, that's all, and I don't need to make it a personal thing. We have been assessed as people who are not using the normal system for disbursement of loans or grants, because it's a mixture of loans and grants.
Yeah, 60% grant, 40%
yeah, and we haven't even used half of it. All right, let's even say that we wanted to access this thing.
The grant component.
We have just used about 100 million out of it. So there is about 1.7 billion still there. Yeah. So therefore, let us be very, very, very clear about this.
I come in the NPP, the deputy spokesperson. I respond. Wala I jabile. Ela kuma kan waye memfo. Ako nothing will stop President Barrow from contesting December. But femanta President Barrow palila pura kanalo December karefel. Fang ay level. Ako kampada President Barrow kamale. Instead of yokumo memfo balafata in the name of Amela contract. Ma renew nyame wala tine be statement sifa otoka. What will you say to that?
Ya long dunia ku fulale be kerinje andong hadama wala relationship fo ya hakili ma ya kije niaje wo text tonte men safe ko president ko na ya tara ye battle ke on yourself
ye fankele
foy santa koy ba a level playing field le tulaje ibela dignity récupérer la kanto la lahi do ba maintain la ba iman 3 years o maintain mo rifa fa bari at least ikole ko nte tarala je ni electional be keka adingo nte birin tata France mbe je ye molu record anin ku kilin doro ne coincide ta wole mu ko mbe sasare nenu nata mbota nan lopitano to doro nyin letarol futata mol futata nan jang bari wayatara mol ya déjà prepare pour quand replace so therefore nte sita jang tata Dakar le fang pour kata na treatment complete nte man kan fay bari ni atondi ko tenke Mr. Njai la reply je ate afa muta big stalwart of the NPP. It's a bit of a pity. There are more sober people in NPP than Jai. Kafoko, the Sina, and the Hanimbin can lecturing in universities, they can invite in Kadiamolke and do Malala, Momonim te Diamuta, as I for Bessen Island. Kafengo fem fong kala kuleto. Nsanole no ngande. Nsanole no ngande. Nte fem fola. Ngamem foteng itela bajela. Ni election o banta. Ni baro man win. Even to have people to stay pour ka mako pour ka la parti o sembendi for janning 5 years time election o ate jela
but Sidin Jai is saying the president will win in landslide in December polls. It's Gomala right. In fact ata folako ala president win nola bari na tramu honest person like you suggesting he's not honest?
No. Yalo ninga ofo aba minna le kombane na ndungam from promise like Gambian tente irritate nola fongene Sidin Jai jannin ya Jammeh bita atale sita ja ko baro mota inaugurate la nyam banko kan mota ino fo mol commencer te borila wo mo si fanana to tourner fo bi aketa ay baro tulo soto wo jumale be do ko do de lala ate suicide commit la ole atina ate ani mo dantan jama ya lon ko ni baro tata jumale ibe do ko soto la min to la nga example kin foy birin president ya Jammeh be sirt wotumo banko jamal be aya dema forcé kan pour ka fay ko ay do ko bula bawo faril jamal bala banko kan ten heads of state jamal lafta ala fitanu nga jaya Jammeh convince because all ministers of foreign affairs ku jaman to le ka fon na president all ye pour que rally around a point okay so ala foreign minister yenkili ako nyekeba na keba lafte jelale kanto nga faye membe fo in the foreign ministers meeting na nyoje dema fa da ntulo ako honorable minister nanga tonya fo mbeda membi ntela fita talale la fita resign lale kafne ako bari mol membe around me in the army, top echelon of the army, in the political party. Ninko e kombita, e konyeri tata daoda, ni tata dula ntoldu, munebe kelantola.
Or during the impasse?
No, I'm talking of Ayadema. Ayadema le afonye. Yarumba puse kanenu pura resign because there was a big problem in Togo. Okay. So a president himself told me this, and I'm not inventing it. It was Ayadema. Akonyo kon nte lafita tala. But in not top army officials, some members of the party and others, bring koye kon lafita tala. Konye, you are going nowhere. Nita tatantol mune binakelantola. So this is the type of situation that they are trying to create for the man. And the psychological pressure is so much that whether Barrow wants it or not, they are forcing him psychologically for a song. So fire pompe ka fire kombe landslide le dile la tenin ta bebe kala ten. Nko yaje fo wati do fanga la ministre killing wolota pour ka acrimony create ka fire ko ha minister be cabinet men me support ni me support nyante bayla le tenin yenna kuma moy. So all that is just to convince the man that I'm closer to you than anybody else. So therefore, if you have this atmosphere of people rallying around you, and this is human, Jara, you know what human society is like. And today, the wading has been so deep into the lake that to wade backwards is as tedious as going forward. This is where Barrow finds himself. Coming backwards, kamurnang koma afanyo niya ko mparetale sign dal ngabula nga si safai hanga ni membe prepare ila fitabula la tenin ita la filayata, and he will really have to summon a lot of courage to do that. But nama okay hanimbi involvement lafitanong ay lahi do maintain. And the fact that akafango belola at a level playing ground deal. Badungo yalong ole Gambia dangerous in the back.
But the president earlier at a former IEC advised like commander impartial election karte fomi along ko atlinte nyanda kasi wala kunda fa biji fa mantraje akamunda atay willi tanila ka foko level play field wanyanda ka sorle. Do you think that point whether he is in or out abem foka wala aber he is still advocating ko level play field nyanda ka sorle?
To be frank with you, if the president really feels comfortable and naya miraka be comfortable in kaya lonko atele be ganyela yo mira yenna ko momoy ndela business te wato moni atin na intervinta pour just alfalemo ntemi human being ti ando ngalonko nga reputation cleanness soto jang na banko kan tol be guilty tala le bal do to mo dol ben tol kono men ka fo on am tay man te jo pour ka fen fo nyaka bato amune atina on te ba fo la ate resign ate kanalo na man kala interesting bi beta nyin kala la ko question le la ni president ima elect in December ite wo ko je nyaadile pour baro à la réputation, à la dignité, à la intégrité, au béju benyadila. Ni ma elect bi. Ba o mol ba fola mala la hidoti man anu bol be bari pet kan.
But
dol be jang woliye dele bari man
the advice here menke yakele out of gesture most of hadama ya kono humanitarian ground. Now you advise somebody now ala close ears didn't appreciate your advice. Ya maro ye mendi did you withdraw your statement now?
No wol manke fang ko abeng advice kan abeng abakata kan te denigrate. Bara sa
what I'm saying is
no batum ngela kumo moy bake aben denigrate kan trying to ay fanya jaman la fuje barin tata jabe la wala ay min te tara jam nin sidi jabe nyo jabe kan waya tara that's the failure of my life ya pon te ba fola nin ni ya dem ta fang sidi jabe kuma sotono la nga president be president le yamar kan president man la fina yamar otala intamate num fang as a head of state moment tata fa ko eko I'm advising you, Kanalo, a very responsible head of state. I'm a killer. Kenyan in Kamone at in the fire. A pension in Kalamone at in the fire. But Barrow, unfortunately, at a fango book association or regulate. But
that is interesting. A head of state, Bankola Nyatonko, Nico, Boka situation will regulate. What will suggest that Aboka situation will analyze?
Akamuntako, it a member long, a lifetime bonte dalecono. No. But Jara, nanga, you know, the be full of book killing a cafe straight and crooked thinking.
Okay.
Yalong, straight and crooked thinking. Yalong, isi dia mo nga soto iba kela nyaming. Me yalong kapsi fan ya fango ke akamunta kotonya. Yamo. No. President atelebe decision all tala fanyi. Atelebe situation no evaluate la kalong ha. Mbede am in a splendid position. Ando nga lon neko be winiro kela. Ndela fite tol be menke. Kay ke UDP te ay katela party ti wala party do. Party ol be ya decide kabo bila wala kabo June la. And throughout the campaign, ye nyon nengon in denigrate all fenke. B, the United Nations lafta mo kila banku doto. Huh? Purka report or right on a certain situation. Huh? How much did I get? African Union Bele and Kinung Haiti. Where the baby Dura baby Jahasari, la president of South Africa, in order to work with the parliament and so on as an envoy. And that was when I had already left the Gambia government. Jenna kumo moy mo buka fanjay inte ko en ko don sidi njay. In fact, I'll tell Beaje, a level of thinking men diada. Mala atambitani in sila juman la fae mo jama president la party marginalized. But internal affairs.
But how did you come? Earlier you stated that President Barrow Momi Alonka buka cabinet parliament face no puruke address. Why did you agree to work for a person? Momi Alonko ete fun aloneko atelono like cabinet parliament address I love face to face and near diam. Why did you work?
My dear friend, Ofanang akamuntako yala ansalone bari murtana. Itele fango ya long. No. If I by the time he been told appoint la, that was the initial months of Barrow. He had around him very experienced people, and who for 2 years didn't make any mistake like what is happening. The whole problem, Barrow would have had top advisors. The government was being run smoothly. Whether there were a majority of people who have been put in by me yalunko dabole natije, will be among important, but very serious situation oleto. Ye banko tamandi no 2 years, international community ye recognize, foing ye meeting sifake purke support. Banko fanan konon al nyanta jibe evaluate civil servants all ka jibe al be kala nyame to improve the situation here. Agriculture in kunyal be what jamano. Nobody was criticizing the president of not going to parliament. In the France, I worked with a lot of energy. I was going to Elysee, to the foreign ministry, everywhere. For 9 years, go to the Foreign Affairs Office. For 9 years, we've been trying to be a member of Francophonie. We weren't in 7 months.
What is saying is due to ineffectiveness.
But all right. If that is the case, go to the records. The country that I was representing the Gambia in gave 50 million euros. That was the highest contribution. In addition to that, when Europe stopped paying for ECOMIG, France took it for quite a few months.
You negotiated it?
Huh? No, I wouldn't say that I negotiated it, but by then I was in Paris, so all what was happening. To negotiate it, we always have to pass through ECOWAS. And it was ECOWAS that was requesting it from the French government, from Europe, and we automatically had the support of Europe. Look, I will not be here to talk about my efficiency and my lack of efficiency. I mean, I do not want to denigrate anybody, but it's very funny if Sidi Jai is saying
the draft constitution, President Barrow the president was in an interview coming near Jammeh President Wayafole. Ako natra nunko abenum parliament molung atemo multi abe carte file draft constitution.
Now, I think you're being unfair with him. You're being unfair with him because he's made a mistake. Because if that was the case, some of his supporters would not have been jubilating when the thing was thrown down. And if that was the case, he would have accepted it as the majority who were there have accepted it. So he would have joined the Khalifa Saleh and the other UDP members and all those who voted for the constitution. So how can he intend on voting for that when in fact the people who sabotaged the whole thing thought that they were doing him a favor? Now, coming to this thing, is why I'm saying that he's got some people who do not have, let us not generalize, men yalong koy man experience also. President, ni moya advice mbake, parliament amanyan na jamfalala no. Anytime isulata la parliament, anyanta talaje. Na tara after ayala speak ke, yung MPO lafta a question la. Yan na kumomoy. Asa accept technically na bije. President bita jele, yela question on yeninka, abita with all the permanent secretaries of the different ministries. Na lafita nila minister fangoyeta. Every MP will stand up and ask questions. Thank you very much, honorable members of parliament. This has given me the proof that you are very much interested in the development of this country and you would like to have some clarifications. I will be giving you my reply next week, Wednesday at 10 o'clock. President Yobuje, and nga staff beta, you'll reply all based sort of for the different questions you men think. President, honorable of Jara West, you as this as wala jabi rosa. As he be jabbing and a family better. Yalo memenkena. Ita inya dunala. And then another thing he could have done. He would have gone. As ita, I MPs all surprised. I penko kiyedon, tenanlo. Akoya for members of parliament, the president of the republic has decided to join you in the library of the National, it's a very big library, in the library of the National Assembly for lunch on Thursday. And he would go there. It's done by the President of France. It's done by the Prime Minister of Great Britain. He will sit there. It will build up a certain amount of synergy and he will be found in the middle of everything. This is the way that Jammeh was able to, and even Jawara was able to have a big ascendance on his MPs because you're always there. And be frank, I do not want to blame Barrow because Barrow himself has said he has had no experience on some of these things. But some people who have had experience and who are refusing to help him are there only to receive a salary, to keep quiet and to be on the fence. But why are not his ministers coming out to talk? We are in Africa, they shouldn't talk about the neutrality of this thing of the civil service. If you have something solid to tell the president, you should be able to tell him. How many people told the president when they had this manifestation of the 3 years judgment that, you know, within the framework of the democratic dispensation that we have, I think just leave them and the whole thing will fizzle out. Budul kai ko this is very dangerous, nyen ketateng andu ite fango yandong wa ko nata tamdeng. Sunte ba folede andu ate fango ye wo lonne. Kantum birin nata nang jang. Nata ning acrimony. There were a lot of things that I could have said. But in man la fila kela because Walter ba fola come I've been here for 2 years.
after Gambia la transition at 3 years ni mi yalon ko wala fota atambita ya fale ko akamonta falentiro le mi yalon ko mo lafta wala jela amanke Gambia la position in the international community abe walanto mo ila lotla international community abe mutaribu le nyaade
to be very frank with you, and no one can dare deny it. Nteleba fole ko be in a very bad shape. One, security sort of, the national army is not functioning correctly. Economic bijang hanimbi. Ite, moment la fetanala investment kela bankoto, me yalong there are occupying troops. Ya mira wo area sorta kala investment is safe. At area sola. But there again, badingo advise all they bring up Yahya Jammeh advice. For 5 years, there were moments. Ninata advice kudo lafaka fonyele no, you are hanging your throat for some people. Mo jamal ka advice o dol di la ka fonye ko nga fay. Ni nga fay dol ta bukala fila la moyla. But finally, a nyamen tabak, a lonko, it was in his interest. And I kake. 5 years, I was his foreign minister. And man lala birinte be bolaje. Yeah, disrespect in the outer world. So, Barrow Fanang is the same thing. Imeje baby daring. Ibebe daring, kunonga mo sabale foje. Chief of protocol, he was my first secretary in Dakar. And then he came back, he went into Yahya Jammeh's protocol. Mamburenjai was my ambassador in Taiwan. And when I say my ambassador, meaning the ambassador of the Gambia when I was foreign minister. Tangara, I put him in touch with one of my friends who was a professor, Bolea Makoi, Fayala doctorate, thank you, Professor Lilian Castello. Buati Jama fan Castello Cantele Kili, Purka Faka Tangara, Tanga Sorna, Japai, Kodukari, Ilafetala, I think, and he worked hard with them. Now, Professor Long, committee, maybe I think, and Telea introduced to Lilian Castello. Why should I tell people in public? There is nothing wrong in it. But man lafika keko I'm boasting.
But
and I did not
intellectuals are known to be honest. You said Mama Tangara has not been honest to the president.
Yeah, no, okay. Yeah, no. You see, that is crooked thinking. That is crooked thinking for a simple reason. He is not honest to the president because they are not telling him the reality.
But Doctor,
on the ground.
When Momodou Tangara or Momodou Njai and any other person, neither cabinet assume la, ike kalila ko itelbe do ko kala bankole without fear or favor. In the name of without fear or favor, if you are not telling the president, meaning you are failing that oath, is it?
Yeah, you're facing the oath, but my friend, how many murderers have sworn, and then there's still...
No, but indeed, that's just limit this to this context.
You are a great idealist, and I enjoy talking. Yalong, ila kacha dia tanya bake kantung ameta lenkela moy. First of all, fang nge adme men na fang. La rapidity of rendering, wo yang impressed back and kafo really kanyang call ansene nyame ite fangole along and man la fi fanke implicate in this tul bele along badimo ngatonya fonyo en tul bele along ko ku jamal bije ñinu buka fo president oye ku jamal be kering President Obuka Kalama. Est-ce que President Fangoyalong internal functionings of the embassies or even the ministries? Moneka futate manan. Ike la decisional letter, ye la clicol da faye pareta, ye na ya faye. And the innocent man, and I must say he is, there are certain technicalities. I mean, you will be unfair to him. But niya sindi Ya ria so ku jamal. Ya ria so ku jamal. Aba accept la human being lom.
No, but
human being
no.
Tol bije means bore no wala. Isa recognize no ko nying ala fitan dun de la ding kole kono. Andum ngato nying bet kuma kilim fole. Andu mo President Barola interest. Mo jamal be around him. Abe humokan. Aje ba sambakan in certain things, dinkol menokon. I will jele I maintain at a distance. I knew maintain at a distance because it will be a miracle. Ni nata draw a memfire be will fenkela. And it will family kono. Ibe nyo kungo katekang. You understand? They're all pulling one another down. Ni momo ya je ko fenke ibe ba katakang to be the closest to him, to be very influential. And there was an Indian who told me, you know, Gambia. Gambia PhD all siata jande. Nka ko PhD ko yero. Pull him down. Mo nyanta futata dulato. Aya qualities be soto bari ka xicale it ta soto lo de barata fana kana so ako ni Gambia be fari wala tep. So ibe ba katakan to have his ears. Mo ya tulo soto nak bitu ngo katale mo be ba fola ko ni baro ay mi ngom fo baro e baro ko saje bena aya continue abe influence for what it lendo baro ya realize ko But
somebody is suggesting that President Barrow, in fact, he should be re-elected for the simple reason that there is no credible alternative. Now, but at the phone, Mojamal Bijamin, the opposition, yala President Barrow, or across the whole Leficiata President Barrow, President Barrow Leficiata Walter.
Bading. Neo fonu moye membe Angleterre wala France pal political parties nol bije doy UDP Mama Kande aning UDP Mama Kande aning Juma Koteng.
We have Citizen Alliance, we have a lot of parties.
No, but wol mbina wol dole ñing parties sabol are historic parties ñim parti ol mota fola ko ikanalo ya accept ni pareta num wala te num bi argument je ni do UDP aning fenke aning Mama Kande iko really la fitale baro another 5 years can tolba support la mbe the spirit of the coalition kala bari yalon ko Mama Kande date no woto bari the spirit of the coalition lekala ba maintain la na tara wolu itol fon ya decide ko be o kala then everybody will accept it yaje ko man Ahmad Ba la kunya because Ahmad Ba abe joué kan on 2 fields.
He's playing double standard.
Mo ibe baro appoint kanga fango burtala tata Dakar mantara no jambirin coalitional be fenketala afterwards alafta itandila mo la tele katata barola mo beti so mo fana ya jibe ba jibe kan so therefore woluta fola kanton tenu sala ya fo tenu oje nyoli ya fo tenu dabo ya fo tenu den argument je barni aje be pareta lola. And then all of a sudden, 18 political parties. Keranyum banko kan isa lonko definitely na tanayun laftanong president ye winning ke. Ite okela. Bari yaje nga mem fawol ye. Yaje mbem banko to nyame. Bi mo jama ka fole Gambia don ye banko ye lande je ye kuje mbe Senegal le tema. Nka import and export nyol kembe agriculture ke kambari hani binna agriculture mam futa tenin bari nyina tamenna wolom ko Gambia na banko unique country la pour ko killing ni bota Europe alaba wolom the first river or waterway which goes into the interior and ocean going liners. In the past, they can go up to 300 kilometers into the interior of the country. It was a gateway for trade. Wale atina, Portuguese or France or Angale wali be Gambia yeku jamasi mfeya. Nteduna history beto. But do you know that?
Fact history even says the Gambia Ports Authority established to bring competition in a global trade competition.
Mbe wale fokang wale atina. We are even beyond that. Kantuma exploit Gambia, the population of Bay is 200 million. Let us even say it's 2,500,000. Let us even say 2 million, I'm sure of that. 2 million. That is half of the population of Dakar. Not even including Gejewai and Pekin. Half the population of Dakar. Dakar ni nga na molbe puse ka bonam bolong kon. Nye nati fo nte tambila sanjali boja na sate wala tundi ko ten. Kembuje.
Kembuje, okay.
Nte tambila kembuje la. Then all the rest is open. But because of the navigability of the river, ning Tubabol, Hollandol, ning Franceol, everybody was competing. At some time, ko Tenda Ba and Albadar, they belong to the French. Then a hands change. There was a time, Saint Louis, which was the first capital of Senegal, abi angalol le bulunung. Biring angaluye Banjul ta, and he exchanged with France. Yenna ko momoy James Island. Ito leo mol bondi nan surwal membe Saint Louis kenati ke settle jam.
Okay.
So therefore, everyone, memantara UDP, you should put in your head that UDP nina leader man kacha follow. But it's an idea, like you can have your own idea also. A union of democratic planners or developers of the Gambia. Sano nyanta menkela for Gambia to survive. Gambia to survive no la the type of economic menke. Let us alinga hamme basoto. Nte menje on both banks of the Gambia, facing one another, Bara, Banjul, are there for 1 mile to start with. It should be ports. As a port party on this side and on that side. Then, ngajibe mbe railway link menkela from our ports, going all the way. The first railway line, which is going to be very simple, is the one linking Bara to Kungel. And from Kungel, there is the international line going to Bamako. I'm telling you this because about 6 years ago, Mali came here to tell us that they will be very grateful if we can develop our port to be able to replace Senegal or Senegal partially. For the simple reason that when boats come from Europe, the first main port which is navigable is the River Gambia. They could be in smaller cargo boats. We take them all the way to Kaur or Kuntawur. And from Kaur or Kuntawur, we could have a railway line linked to Kungel. So that it will go quicker. Because Dakar. It takes them 300 miles for Kaulak Mafang. Then from Kaulak to Kungel is another 200. While Jang, very quickly, from Kaur, you have a railway line going. Our aim should be to have a railway line also. Many Gambian port of merchandise, all baby like Burkina Faso, Mali, Guinea-Bissau, and Guinea-Conakry. For a simple reason, Conakry kana esanso Jammeh, and Dunia Sambela Bangkok is still cheaper than the petrol that is offloaded from their port. For how long Guinea-Bissau was exporting through the Gambia? Cashew and all that for being Atelenata, Senegal will stop and Santa Ebola stop. Kuja jamal bije ntol be nak nyanta wo xammo betole sotola pour que new vision di Gambia la pour que je ko Gambian ta jube la teng bari nga jube as a port of service for the whole of Africa. Yeah, andun wo wole batina life ay soto banko kan development e soto jang andun nga ku jamal keno nga mul train si fenko bondi janno foarea aning unemployment so be jube then nga kuma kelin doron conclude ye prejudice bala ke molla whether a deliberate or man deliberate mbe wolonna le later on nyim brijo biri ba lola andum president baro is aba folene nga o fay birayen appoint hore jan imbita nga fay en kai ko andu nga fo dabo fanay so you see that I respected him. I went to France in his name. President Ahmed Maro has appointed Dr. Sidad Jobe, ambassador of this thing to Gambia to France. Nga foye. Nkoye ko sai al pare brillo I pareta alola. But sa alinga check that for the navigability is not impaired. For Hanimbi ocean going liners is a bono jang during Queen Nata jang Queen Elizabeth. Ala kulungu which is about 9 stories high. It went all the way up to Sankuya. The port of Sankuya, Lota Jele Mansa Konka, Commandant Nimpenko, Monte Farma, Health Inspector Mansa Konko, gave be invite for a reception on board the Britannia. You know, Kumoi. Sang Brijo Benyamin. Hani Ferriota do no la koto.
Perhaps
so we have
the only thing it has might be if it has an opening as yellow.
No, but what I'm saying today, the bridge has the river has been sabotaged. You cannot have a ship. Even Lady Lightning Fuladu men katanu nje control samba brumbrun dindiya kaur kunta what itano. So therefore, naya taranung bridge ya yele nung. Then in communication obekele and only la moy no present fango anene afoko ala feta base a very big port because he knows that trade will be there. So that is our opportunity. Alimbe nga duanyo e nyomota na manke ku positive ringoti nkana fonyoye ni moye teneng sinya tang wote fenne bulete balo bala bari ni mo neng. It will be difficult in idea pour aller same idea sort of for development. Then nyanta membekela nyomuta ngalamo ya marola andumbari pitla na yata present baron koye ko ikana lo pour que la credibility gain and pour la independent sort of si ko selende santo ni mofu ko kata wo me balika ke candidate again yela credibility soto na mandiye amanke ko is something imposed. Request them bari wo request to ni ma accept kamo denigrate me yo foye wo mete ma koy wo man fenti nyante bul.
President Barrow, finally, Jani Mol Kebula, we have other engagement. But Jani Kebula, President Barrow on Monday, I can be no address like. Ala address Ninkon, I command roke bilateral and multilateral. Puruye Gambia Marco on the security challenge, hence December election on Akana. Model BJ, they think these two terms, bilateral, multilateral is unbefitting. Among Kung, or it shouldn't be in that area for the simple reason that need la fakana sovereignty maintain internal security. External forces will dab on the work on them. What will you say to them?
You see, I've been in government, and to be very frank with you, anything that renegates me yala be mo malunde la wala kap mo underestimate. Amam beteya yalo amam beteya mentor itine la cooperation or sotola. Ninge te criticize ni te cooperate no la pour ka fenke. Bilateral and multilateral, there's an idea behind it. The multilateral is like, say they are the ECOWAS supporting us to get economic here. The bilateral is what we're doing with Senegal. Because there are two agreements. There is the agreement with ECOMOG And there is the agreement also with Senegal. And the agreement with Senegal is a bit of a problem. Now, nobody can say I am anti-Senegalese, because I'm very close. I was very close to President Senghor, and Senghor appointed me as a professor at the University of Dakar. I'm not only a former civil servant of Senegal, but I have my pension as a professor at the University of Dakar. I don't have a pension in the Gambia, my own country. You understand? So therefore, I cannot be against Senegal. But I think the agreement which allows Barrow to have his security and to have Senegalese helping us here, it should be re-examined. Because Kantum, ku jamal beke kanjang mulka fo o Senegal le nyinke nata le mo muta jangi tata jangi na fenko ta jangi tan nta sa fo ye no le ko Senegalese government, meaning the president and the minister of interior, ni bota kalama is afterwards. Bari mota folako is a determined policy of Senegal pour la soldaro le dunjay be mol arrest le be mol kalate. So wo ko le nyanta régler la, and it is in his own interest. Wati bije fa ngamirano andum patatin sa fojan the Senegal last president to makoyla andum nyin criticism ol kanaki je bila I decide ko ala fita security service la ay Senegal also to state house, taking into account a confederal army sotoleno. See agreement ke where Gambian soldier and in Senegal ibe palace to jam. And what prevents within that political decision that you have 10 or 15 Gambian soldiers attacked to the palace in Senegal? Then who will blame Barrow for losing our sovereignty? Nobody can. Because you will have Gambian soldiers in Senegal, you will have Gambian policemen in Senegal, you will have soldiers and so on in the Gambian zone. And one thing we should realize, and there I think that President Barrow also knows that it's very important for us to build solidly Senegalo-Gambian relationship. We are not doing it for Senegal. We are mbakatakani purka ke katonya fon na reality.
But the Senegal-Gambia bilateral mialonko ibe wole sojas kan. Many are saying that when Senegal, any agreement we go into with them, I tell them nafa bake katamentela for the simple reason that they don't honor agreements. Gambia men don't need them ibuka respect. One is the ECOWAS protocol. They never respect it. Yeah, but it's saying ngami rebe respect kan kantung na bosol kataje every day. Well, among me cabinet government but once an agreement has been set up, well, yeah, you are
right. You are right, but then badingo. Woman ke Senegal dorong te Africa belong what it will be man fengo feng respect. Andun nga for menta a jawyata damem fang. Nigeria and Niger. Nigeria me yala te muntola bastionte for the application of the ECOWAS rules and regulations. Yela frontiero sorong in Niger. Iman sonung esan soni marsandi solye dunje for many months under Buhari, and he was being condemned all over the place. So what I am saying, Gambian in Senegal, ni wala cooperation among background solid ring of prepare for African unity, mbenna time ole weska. Hanina contributions to the union, to African unity, is a waste of time. But not a Gambian in Senegal, ma modus operandi sotono pour a harmonious relationship with la motol kadungwa ni wala Bangkok shopping mall itata 5 minutes ye londi jana ngawo apply follow nintol mango apply no. Taking into account only the same local languages also. Let us forget.
But it is not a bit shameful to our diplomatic mission in France, to even the Gambia government, that we are areas in the Francophone organization or whatsoever, of 22,000.
Yeah, but we have, to be frank with you, we have that area. You go to Addis Ababa, you'll have more than 20-something countries which have areas. Malolong, but there too. It a president blame no la wala Foreign Minister Ateyalo, I've reminded him many times, Ateyalo, financial situation o benyadile. You mune di priorities la mbadi ngo kujamal le be jaxaseri andon lafta ñing nga fo very clearly. Yaje nka kulta too easily. Be ka fole bawo tennom batunte si. Andong idea kelimbenyum banko kanung hanimbi Abidjan in the colonial period. Ni commandant ye bay wala governor ye mo bayala do koto senior civil servant. Ika fayne lailo ela do makana fem po mo kane kangoy. You know, so you ke da dele tek. Kona ra commandant ye nate mirela ay wala ko ha ora mbedo ko do dile. You would have destroyed yourself. Because your initiative is thinking a bit tata, wujika si fale bentol. Birabe during, ikamo jumali jahanya takadiamu Yahya Jammeh la retinto. Kujama bijenu ibeke kang Yahya Jammeh mamba kalama. Abdou Diouf birabota president yala. Ako nene ma realize ko nyene bu situation o membe Senegal by the time that Ablaye Wade ba butel. President wa bedame ika walls nyoleke around him. And we ka vision o mendila ni siata. You know, aka woleje. Aka dunya je through the eyes of others and through the mouths of others. Meng yati na ba batande kang, and to be fair, mbenying folofona yatre ye kudo soto ka fonye. Nkana susceptible. Ntela yamaro, it was done for the future. Ntete fem fola, nte jabila in standard, because it would be very foolish and childish. Bawe tol la position ota, ya miracle wole mu tonyati, and they think the best protagonist is Ibrahim. What is his name again? Something guys, heading guy. We leave it with them, and we watch what will happen.
So in the December polls, are you hopeful that the party that you are supporting will emerge victorious? Now,
if I say that, they may try to link that to the advice. They try to.
But if you are hopeful that your party is going to win, Doctor, it wouldn't be a problem to highlight.
Of course, but then I want the two to be dissociated.
Well, they are not anyway, but in general terms, they are all politics.
Whether the UDP wins or it doesn't win has nothing to do with Barrow standing and not standing. What I am looking for was, if Barrow doesn't stand, the image that he will give of himself. Now, if he feels that he wants to stand, well and good. I have given my this thing already. And then I just will conclude by telling you, you told me what did I think of the other parties. All the other parties, apart from the three that I've told you, should try to see which type of alliances that they could have with the main parties in the country. You understand? And to avoid going for the presidential election. They could all try their ground in the legislative elections, but they shouldn't go in for the presidential elections. They will thereby not only economize on their own finances, but to reduce the acrimony. Can you imagine a country of 2 million inhabitants with 18 political parties, each of them trying to be a president, and each of them with their programs, and they will not be able to cooperate with other parties. Imang cooperation okay no in partido for na trial winter. Oh, mang intelligent. Mbading, untol basic tarano le nung fang. In few parties, member win la ay win roke, na ay majority beto soto, andu nga miran tolbe majority beto le soto la. It will
be interesting for the viewers to know whether if UDP wins the December polls, if you are given a position considering your age, whether you will take.
My friend, let me tell you one thing. Age does not matter, not at this level. There are many executives who are 80 something, who are vital. I'm not boasting about it, but the experience I have now, I didn't have when I was 25, 30. What I can do for Gambia, whenever I stand in any institution, and I speak in the name of my country, it's always given weight. So therefore, I do not know. I was thinking of going myself. I've got a very big farm in Keserekunda to go into agriculture. I will be able to negotiate with companies. Inshallah, negotiate non nim banku do pour ka ko jibe. No, ni mo yang appoint. Anything that they want me to do, I can do. Memen no la andi tol fango jiketan na dula mento. Of course. But manyinke pour ka post soto. Ntemo retiree of the United Nations, 19 years like a UN system in UNESCO. And on din ngol menu bijang menu lafita do kola. Ko dabo ya fo nyame. Aba katala to be a transfer of experience and putting them on the ground.
To prepare them for the future.
To prepare them for the elections which are even there. But if everyone wants to come, let them come. If they feel that they could be able to take up the state straight away and just go on running, well and good. Me, to be very frank with you, I thank God that I went throughout my school life and I went to my university life, taught at university, came to my country, natam fangola banko kanga do koke, nene man complain on employment la. So therefore, ni mol sulatan pour nga continuer na banko kala, nte mo block la. Kanton tenka men kedoron nga men no.
Abaraka bake. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. Ebe mele fola molde men be jibero.
For ke jai ka foye ko mbeya kata hani nata ngam fongol la patio soto ngam mira banko la. Andum banko ni tonya dolu fo du kare ni mol ya lon ko tonyalam akane dimi yaje bi nkanyi nyo sabasi fal menke alinga fo alhamdulillah kombota situation jawole to no andum mo beni yamara jawole keta bari bi bawon sita nkadiamu nyoye no mbe good intention soto pour ñim banko e alinga ñomuta alinga menu ye kool no ñe tambindi ñaato andu wo fana menu be ñaato ye bulol yele e kana tara mo dete kan pour mo be experience o men sota ilafta di la ñim banko la pour ka develop e sa keno.
Baraka, doctor. I didn't know you are this fluent in Mandinka. Ala baraka baki atul member Chief Thanks TV Jobe kang ale wato menta ka Chief Thanks TV Jobe nin Dr. Sidad Jobe ni wala bejang ka fale ala baraka baki kalba kelini drongal kalina program ol Jobe. You subscribe to our YouTube channel al kala se wanyama men ben program ol se ka men ba Jobe kan ka fale ala baraka baki content alla ko wala fo ramisan ala inshallah ngana nim politician do si ka kacha ko la mi yalan ko wala be kere memmo di current reality al nal badi male Ibrahima Jara ngatel be konton ale wato men daga Chief Thanks TV Jobe ala baraka.
Okay. Mm-hmm.